All right, with this West 2 Facebook Live, just wanted to kind of get everybody up to speed with what is going on down in the tropics. We just got an update from the National Hurricane Center on the remnants of Agatha and what could potentially be taking shape and or developing here as we go through the next couple of days. So we'll spend the next 20 to 30 minutes here on evaluating what's going on down over towards the Yucatan Peninsula and what may or may not happen down the road. Still a lot of question marks here, but I'll tell you what, the models appear to be coming into a little bit better agreement with the latest run of the GFS, a little bit more to the north, which is getting closer and closer to what the European computer model was suggesting all along. Angel Sebastian, Kristen Kustra, Gerardo Lopez, Leah Fish, Anthony Mazzari, Lisa Cervantes, Jules, T. Milan saying no, Nanette De Jesus, Betty, Bonnie from Ocala, we've got Karen Maria, Isolika, Diana New Yorican, great group in here right now. Huge crowd. One of those nights where the feed is picking up with a number of viewers as we're watching and monitoring the tropics. So here's the deal for me. It's kind of hard to see what's going on down there right now because it's over land. But if you were to take a look at the visible satellite presentation from just a short while ago, it certainly looked like something that might have been spinning right in there. And then when you take a look at the latest infrared satellite loop, it certainly looks like if there is something down there, it's definitely been ripped apart. Overall, there's a lot of thunderstorms on the eastern side, a little bit of wind shear now in the northern Gulf with that approaching front. One of the things, though, that I need to remind everybody of is that, yes, this thing is weakened significantly. Yes, sharing is caring. William, I do appreciate you saying that. I would love for you guys to share as many times as you possibly can just to kind of get the word out. These waters are warm. And, if you got a feature here that kind of does something like this, there's your water temperatures. So this has opportunity or room for development down the road because of that and that alone. Just updated this graphic. I want you to notice the northern flank now. That red eastern flank goes from Havana to Miami and up towards I-4 from Tampa Bay, almost now into Orlando, that 5-day outlook right there. So it's beginning to look more and more like we are going to have some impacts. If there's any good news, at least as of right now, none of the models are suggesting a hurricane. It's either a depression or a very weak tropical storm in Alex, and we're going to kind of go over that here with you over the next couple of minutes. So there's a look at the timeline today, tonight. We're watching Agatha interaction with land. Thursday, Friday, watching that development there in the Gulf/Caribbean, and then evaluating in that process the impacts for Central Florida. Samantha Joy, Brad Hughes, Deborah Clinton, Barb Z. Again, I want to make sure that you guys understand the differences here. Euro is still farther north. Now, with the 18Z run, this yellow arrow needs to point just south of Miami. So it is closer to South Florida. It has nudged a little bit more to the north, and I'll make that tweak here in just a little bit. The special is tomorrow night. The hurricane special is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Lisa, doesn't look like it's going to be a hurricane. Although, I have to say, we went from a depression to a Cat 2 in the Pacific. So there is a little bit more wind shear, though, in the Atlantic side of things here in the Gulf, as opposed to what was going on, though, down there in the Pacific. So a little different dynamic. But we'll certainly be watching it. Deborah, Love Storm, Sarah Miller from Ocala saying hi, Linda Beck, John Kiley also popping on in. So if we take that northern flank, that northern track, we're going to get the potential for flooding. We're going to get the rain, the threat for potential for some severe storms and some gusty winds. The southern track, less impacts, not dry, but drier, and the severe weather threat would be confined down to the south. So let me do this. Here's a look at the most recent models from earlier today, and I'm hoping that we get a new set of runs tonight with an invest in the Gulf. So we'll have to wait and see. Karen, watch tonight as well. My lawn looks burnt like burnt toast. Brad, if we get this system in here, you're not going to have burnt toast anymore. Thank you, Cassandra. Phil Rath. Yeah, got a good crowd. There's no doubt about that. Appreciate that. So here's a look. When you look at the tropical models, here's what they do. You know, you got the TVCN's pretty reliable. UKX2 is fairly reliable. And then the Cody is also fairly reliable. Look what they do. There's 4 p.m. Saturday, potentially coming ashore between Tampa and Fort Myers, and then a few of them going over Brevard County as we go through the upcoming weekend or early next week. So just a few, not all. I do want to show you side by side. Yep, Genesis. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Do appreciate that. Love the loyalty. Bob Johnson, Linda Crook, Robert DeBrucke. Yeah, so the time looks to be Friday night. So here's the side by side. It's a really good question. Philip, you know, I'm inclined to believe that as well. Carrie Keene from Tennessee, looking good. Thank you, Carrie. So there it is. I know it's not the orange that folks up in Tennessee like, but Jessica Strobel. Northeast at 8 right now. It's not moving very quick. Yvette, Margie, downtown Terry Brown. So there's a look now, and you can see June 3rd, 2 p.m., northwest tip of Havana, southern Gulf of Mexico for the Euro, and then you can see midnight, 5 a.m. I'll back it up. There's a look at most of the action coming in on Saturday with both the models. But the GFS, the big orange bulb, is down across South Florida, which is up a little bit nudged more to the north. So we'll watch that. And then there's the Euro right over South Central Florida. Boatload of rain. And then look at that, Sunday morning, already moving offshore, pulling away. That's what the models are doing. So we may be able to salvage Sunday if these models are correct. Linda, thank you. Eric, Gamp. Right now, Eric, you know, I'm hesitant to put any wind forecast out there because we don't even have a depression right now. And there's nothing for the models to latch onto. And a lot of times when you try to show something like that, you get some numbers that aren't what I call honest. They're based on fiction. They're not what I call reliable. So that's the one concern I would have with that right now. The system is not very wide. It's not very organized right now. During the day, you're good, Crystal. In the evening, though, things will start going downhill based on what I'm seeing right now. Cruising out of Port Canaveral. I think Sunday's fine. And the ocean might be a little bit stirred up, but if the models are correct, this thing will be lifting northeast. You'll be heading south, so that's a good thing. Look at the rain. Look at the rain on the European computer model. Up north, 1/2 inch to 2 inches. Metro areas, 2 to as much as 3 or 4 inches. In portions of Brevard, anywhere from 5 to 8. So yeah, that's what happens with tropical storms. Kathy Jo Santiago, good to have you there. Becky Nordby and Naide. Bring me that coffee, that strong coffee. All right, here's a look at a sampling of all of the models, and it paints a very wet scenario down south. It's got decent rains over Central Florida and much lighter amounts of rain the farther north you go. Trina Connors, Leslie Day, you're welcome. Tisha, Margie Ingold, Crystal Reiner. Great group in here tonight. Do appreciate you guys popping on in. Now, let me show it to you a different way. Here's a look at the water vapor channel for the Euro. Notice what it does. See the blue? That's your deeper, taller thunderstorms. It went away. Does it come back over landfall? It does not. Maybe a brief little hint there in Fort Myers. Then you get it back once it lifts northeast, out and away from Central Florida. So that's what the European is doing. Here's the GFS water vapor channel. Mark Simmons. Marcus, good to have you there. Appreciate you. Darlene, good evening to you. Anthony, coming back home Saturday. Saturday, you're going to have to watch. I think Saturday is going to be, if the GFS is right, the deeper moisture will be down south, but if the Euro is right, we'll be in it Saturday. So it's just keep checking back in. Debs, you're welcome. Miss Hopper, appreciate you popping in. Liz, Lisa GV, Juan Melendez. So there's the GFS. And then the GFS has a front trying to come on in around the 10th. I'm not sure that I buy that. But here's the Euro GFS when we do it side by side. See that right there? The Euro big time blows this thing up east of the Central Florida Peninsula. So let's get back to the 7-day here. Kind of give you guys a heads up. Jessica, you're welcome. Colleen Nash, Brian Bedore, good to have you here. I would say most of the time the Euro did a pretty good job, but the Euro is not always the best model. And it all depends on, how things are being handled as things initialize. And you got to remember, we're not even sending in any Hurricane Hunter flights yet. So we'll see. Kathy Dill, you're most welcome. They both can be accurate, and they both sometimes are not. So we base things off of trends. There's your tropics, Friday, Saturday. We're watching that Friday evening and Saturday. Sunday morning, things start to clear on out. Let's see. It did, but it's still, sometimes it's better and sometimes it's not. Dolores Sharaba, hope I said that well. Thanks for popping in. It does, Michelle McD. Yep. We'll see. We'll see about that. They did get an upgrade, and sometimes they tweak the models during tropical season. So that's kind of what we do during the change of the seasons. Becky Nordby, thanks for the info. Could use the rain. John Hanson, the Hansonators in the house. Good night, Dana from Terry. Good group in here. You guys hopefully are I'm sharing these feeds and dropping lots of emojis. Likes, hearts, loves. So there you go. Tomorrow, your typical afternoon showers and storms, maybe just briefly lower on Thursday. Anthony, signals are pointing that way, but it's not a done deal yet. Let's wait and see how things pan out once this thing comes off of the Yucatan Peninsula. Tony Baloney, yep. No, says Jules. There you go. Lorraine Cruz is in the house. Erica Roman. Ero! You're welcome there. Crystal Atkins just jumped on. What's the East Coast? How far up the East Coast? David Harrison, greetings to you. Should we make a trip to? Not yet. I don't think that's necessary just yet. Martin Ochoa has popped in. All right, for the late bloomers that came in, let's get back to our top story. Again, that is the tropics. We are watching a large area now of showers and storms, partially the remnants of what was once Agatha down in here. This is going to lift northeastward, and then we'll have to watch to see how things develop over these very, very warm waters. All right, I'm giving it one more day. Gina, give it one more day. Give it one more day, girl. Hang in there. I want you to go, but I also don't want you to go and have a complete washout. And this thing is still over the peninsula yet. We have no real definitive lock on anything, so that's why I don't want you to cancel any plans just yet. Tammy White is from Virginia. Douglas Luttrell, hello from Daytona Beach Shores. Lexi Gariel. Lexi, good to have you there, girl. Okay, Dave, good question. Why do the Pacific and Atlantic have different names? Generally speaking, storms in the Pacific go west, as do storms in the Atlantic. And when you're covering these storms, you want names for one basin not to be the same as another basin. So that's why we give the Pacific a certain set of storms and names, and also for research purposes, if something becomes a major hurricane, we can go back and study it. Elizabeth Haught, Deborah Clinton, Anthony. Alex is the next name if it becomes a named storm. It's got to be a tropical storm. Depressions don't get named. Palm Bay's in the house. Kathy Dole, good to have you there, young lady. Always appreciate you popping on in. So there's a look at those warm waters. We think that with time, there is going to be some gradual organization once this feature lifts north and east of Cancun. Marisol Cortez, Yukon, Capo Greco, and Maria Soto, all popping on in. So there you go. Numerous storms near the Yucatan right now. Depression likely by Friday, and then as it forms, we're going to make an evaluation of what those impacts for us may or may not be. So let's take a look at the scenarios and the possibilities. There you go. Northern track, flooding threat, severe storms could become a possibility. Gina, yes, that is a great question. She wants to know, is there a chance that this won't even develop again? And the answer is yes. But we do have some pretty warm water. We do have a little bit of wind shear, but it's not that bad. So there may be room for development here. So that's why we want you to keep checking back in. Saturday, Brittany Cox, if it goes across South Florida, I think the southern reaches of Central Florida from Orlando south might get it. But if it's the Europeans right, we should do pretty well in the rainfall department. And I'm going to go back over those rainfall totals here in just a second. I did want to show you the tracks on the models from earlier this morning. You can see quite a few of them tracking near Fort Myers, north of Stewart, or even into southeastern Orange County by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. Right front quadrant would bring the risk for tornadoes and or severe weather if this thing can even develop. Robert DeBrucki, thank you for the update. The Eastern Pacific never did reach the Greek alphabet. That's correct. Yukon. All right, so little minor adjustment here with the GFS late this afternoon. It is just a scotch more to the north. Now it goes over, as you can see right there, it goes right over South Florida. Right over South Florida. The GFS over South Florida as opposed to the Florida Straits and the Bahamas. The Euro's South and Central Florida. Now, both of the models take this energy east of Central Florida by Sunday morning. So Sunday is actually going to be, if all goes as planned, a normal day. You'll get some typical afternoon showers and storms, but the event itself, whatever passes, would be over. So you might be able to salvage one weekend day. All right, here we go. There's a look now at the Euro. Still very, very wet. The GFS. Bringing up now some rain there into the southern reaches of our viewing area. There you go. That is a look at that. And then if you look at all of the models, you put them all together and then you come up with something like that over the next 5 days. Anthony likes the GFS, he says. Good evening, Tony says. Trina, let's see, if it does develop tropical storm. Right now, a depression or a weak tropical storm. If it becomes a tropical storm, if it's got enough time, it will become Alex. Fruitland Park right now, Saturday, is going to be potentially pretty wet. Sunday, we'll have those typical afternoon showers and storms. Eddie Queso, each model does differently with a different storm. So there's no one model that we can say, no matter what, performs better than the others. You take it on a storm-by-storm basis. So, I need a nap, says Linda. I've been talking a lot today, doing a lot, so I'm going to make it, though. I feel like I got this. So there you have it. Good evening to you, Candy. Power nap. Yes, those are the best. All right, so that's a look at that. Now, let me wrap this up here with the 7-day forecast. I think we've kind of covered this here. for a good chunk. Jill Maxwell, Jillian, always a pleasure to have you there. Raquel Ramos, you're welcome. Gina, no, there won't be an update at 11, like, from the Hurricane Center, saying we have a depression or anything like that. We get some tropical models typically coming around 9, so we'll have that. That'll be the only thing fresh. We're not going to have a cone or anything like that. We're not that stage just yet. Ormond Beach, Russell, good to have you there. Kara Janes, Jerry, and Nijam, good to have the both of you two in here. Appreciate you popping in and saying hi. So that's a look at the potential Friday night on into Saturday. If there's going to be any issues with something from a depression or tropical storm, it'll be Friday night on into Saturday. Sunday morning, it should be departing the East Coast and then pulling away from us. Eustis Saturday, it all depends on the exact track, Jerome, but right now I'm thinking it's going to be wet. All right, guys, I'm going to rock and roll. I'll have those new model tracks for you tonight at 10 and 11 on the CW18 and West 2 News. Remember, we do these Facebook Lives for you each night. I do them each night around 8 o'clock or so, give or take 10, 15 minutes either side, depending upon the weather that night. Our West 2 Hurricane Special is tomorrow night, June the 1st, 7 o'clock on West 2. I hope you guys are able to watch it. Lexi, thank you for sharing. Stephen, Michelle, Yukon. Again, tropical storm, maybe a minimal tropical storm based upon what we're seeing right now. But keep checking back in. We all saw what happened with that storm in the Eastern Pacific. It went from depression to a Cat 2 overnight. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Different dynamics in the Gulf this time. There's a lot of upper level wind shear with an upper low to the north. All right, guys. See you a little bit later on at 10 on the CW18 and again at 11 on West 2 News. Until tomorrow night on Facebook Live, see ya.